Hello, I'm happy to have Ted DeBettencourt with Juvo Leads on on the business spotlight today. He's going to be introducing himself in just a minute. My name is David Dowdy. I am owner of a local training, education, business coaching firm called Action Coach Lake Norman, and just thrilled to have Ted on the call with us today. So, Ted, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Juvo Leads and what type of business you're in?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, David. Very excited to be here. My name's Ted. I'm one of the co-founders here at Juvo Leads. We're a human-powered lead capture company. We go on websites, home services, legal, retirement homes, and we have conversations with their visitors and turn those conversations into qualified leads. So we exist on a pay-per-lead model. Every time we send a business a qualified lead as defined by the business, we charge them a fee anywhere between 27 and $50, depending on the caveats of the rules that we have set up. So we're human powered chat and lead answering service for businesses.
Fantastic. So how long you been at it?
We started back in 2016. I had a small
Okay.
marketing agency in Boston. I was using a few different chat answering companies for some of my businesses I was representing. And what I found is I didn't really like what they were doing. So I got kind of frustrated and kept asking them to make changes. They wouldn't make the changes I asked for. So I ended up firing them and answering all my clients' website chats. Quickly found that that was a lot of work. So I hired a few people just in-house just to say, all right, well, I go to sleep at night. I'm off 9 to 5. So I hired a team to answer chat then. But what I quickly found when I looked at the analytics is that I was getting a lot more leads, but also sales, deals, cases, patients for my client. So what I quickly found is that when you do chat right, you can get a lot more leads and qualified leads for your business. So I realized, hey, I think I might be onto something here. So I took my experience answering chats from my 10 clients and we created a company. I was working at a work bar. It's a kind of a co-working space in Boston at the time with another guy who was working there. We kind of doing it as a side gig. Like, hey, let's try this as a business. So for the first 2 years, it was basically just my clients, and we didn't know how to sell it. We didn't know how to market it or even really scale it. And then year 3, we started to get some traction. By the end of year 3, we were probably up to 50 clients. And then from year 4 onward, we're now on about 1,100 sites around the country.
Wow, that's quite the growth.
Yeah. We've been.
Congratulations on that. So
Thank you.
if you were okay, so you've been around for what, 7 years or so now doing this in a variety of ways. So if you were to start over, what would you do different knowing what you know now?
Um, Having a good product doesn't mean people are going to buy it. We had a really good product, but we didn't know how to sell it. So at our core, we have a lot more features than we have now, and our quality control is better. But I'd say probably after about year 2, we had the core of what we were doing. So I kept wanting to add new and new features and selling those features. But the reality is we should have just doubled down and learned how to do sales better. And then as soon as we got better at sales, we were able to grow a lot faster.
Wow. So okay, so that's probably one of the bigger learnings for you is you got to, although man, there's so many people you and I both know that have great products or services, but if they can't sell
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
what good is it? So any other key learnings that come to mind? Uh,
Uh, it's better to sell into pain points. When we find out what competition's doing bad or wrong, we reach out to those people and say, here's why what you're doing now is bad and how it's hurting you. If you want us to fix that pain point, let us know. Um, that's been a really helpful tool. And then I think third is early on, we had the option to pivot and kind of go after there's different tiers of chat in my world. There's kind of the high-end chat, the middle of the road, and the low-cost providers. Low-cost providers pay their chat agents less. They're cutting corners everywhere, and their quality is not as good. Really early on, we said, just because the problems I was facing, I was dealing with at the time what was considered probably either top of the line or middle market. But I wasn't really excited about the quality of the chats I was getting. So early on, when we had an opportunity to win a lot of big clients, but they wanted to really rake us over the coals on price. And we said, we can do that, but that means we have to pay our chat agents less. We have to give them more chats per hour. And we had to reduce our overall quality. We said, we're not going to do that. Let's hold out. and be kind of the highest tier chat service we can be. And I think that strategy has really paid off, because it's a lot. At the end of the day, the service we offer, no one cares about the price. They care about the quality, no matter how much they tell you they care about the price. When we can provide a much better service, even the middle tier clients, when they come over to us, we give everyone a free 30-day trial. When they come over to us, they see the difference right off the bat. And at that point, the price doesn't matter. Once they see the difference in quality, we're up to 4 times the cost of a lot of our competition. And even clients, businesses, firms knowing that, they go with us because the quality is so much better. And it's a lot easier to sell into that and not negotiate on price and just say, yeah, we're more expensive, but we're significantly better. That strategy has paid off for us.
Interesting. Okay. Well, to dial into where your part of the market is, your niche, certainly is valuable. So there's so many different misconceptions about small business, you know, and we could list them out, but what are some of those that you've come across, and how have you dealt with them, you know, in your own 7 years now?
Sure. Probably we still have a fair amount of small business clients. We've been moving more into the not enterprise, but larger franchises and law firms that, you know, are some of the, we probably have 4 out of the 10 top law firms in the country. And a lot of franchises that have 100+ locations. So what we're finding but their businesses, their individual franchises are a little bit smaller. What we're finding with them is speed to lead. For them, no matter how good your business is, how fast you get in touch with the lead still matters. So if no matter how big of a business you are, how good your reputation is, if you're not fast at responding to the needs of the customer, you're going to lose business in market share to smaller, more agile businesses that can. So I guess, I don't know if it's a misconception, but it's an error that we see, especially among some small businesses, that maybe they're busy and they're not answering the phone as frequently, or letting it ring more, or not following up on those voicemails. If you do that, you're going to lose market share to your competition. So it's about who can meet the needs of the customer fastest. Those are the businesses that we're seeing win out.
You mean the marketplace is not patient anymore? Seriously?
The marketplace needs an answer, and they need it yesterday. So the faster you can get to them, it's the more you win.
Yeah. So the next question I was going to ask you was, what do you attribute your growth to? But that may be a big piece of it, is recognizing some of those features in the marketplace right now, what they're demanding. But
I'd say that, and we hit kind of a tipping point with our growth, where for our business, it was not getting a lot of what we do is a lot of the big name businesses, the littler businesses look up to them. So once we've been able to win a bunch of big businesses, and we can use those case studies, use those talking points, we're able to say, like, hey, here's a problem you had, this same problem for this business that is 10 times bigger than you, 100 times bigger than you. We solved that for them as well. If we solve it for them, I'm pretty sure we can solve it for you. And it just makes the conversation easier when we can, you know, show those big logos and show it off.
Oh man. Yeah. Great point. So yeah, you're a small business guy having great successes. I know you personally in the area. Man, small business is always a challenge with regard to the work-life balance and you know, the time demands, and you know, it's 24/7. How do you personally deal with some of that?
Not as well as I should. I try as much as possible to limit emails. I'm not good at it. I try to, on weekends, I try to turn it off as much as possible. I don't make a habit of working. So there's answering emails, and there's, like, you know, GSD, getting stuff done. I try to not answer emails on the weekend unless it's an emergency. And I'm pretty good at that. Usually probably once a month I have to jump on the weekends. During work days, I'm probably leave the office around 6 or so, and then probably answer a few more emails before I go to bed, 8 or 9. But for the most part, I try to limit it. I start a little bit later than most, just because I got little kids. So I try to make sure sleep isn't an issue. A lot of my role nowadays is sales and account management. So if I don't get enough sleep, I get cranky. If I get cranky, I say the wrong thing, and it cascades from there. So I try to make sure I get enough sleep. And then I've been
Great
trying to be good about.
self-awareness.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
Great self-awareness.
Yeah,
Right.
that's just you send those emails. It feels good to send, and then you're like, oh, I should have toned that differently, and like, oh yeah, I got 4 hours of sleep last night. That's the cause.
Right. Right. Yeah, takes its has its effects on our family relationships as well, not
Hey,
just with the
same.
emails going on.
Yeah, the wife notices when I'm not sleeping enough too.
Absolutely. Hey, okay, so you're not doing it all yourself. You've got employees or contract help, or
Yeah.
what are the things that you look for now in a good quality employee to add to Juvo Leads?
That depends the role. So we're really big on filling in the roles. So we're a little bit under 100. Most of our team is chat agents. For that, it's a very specific role, and it's just follow directions fast. For our sales team, it's a different set of rules we're looking for. We're always looking for closers. So someone that can be likable. We want them closing, but it's not a hard sale. It's a consultative sale. So we want someone that is most importantly likable too, but not afraid to then ask the tough question: are you ready to buy? For our account managers, we're looking for detail orientation, organization, and making sure things don't fall through the cracks. So it really depends on the role, but yeah. I guess it depends on the role. But I guess one of the commonality between all of it is we look for as many strong players as we can. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, you might have to redo this part.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I think the takeaway there for us and the listeners is it depends on the role to get real.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you got to. It's not one size fits all. Determine the role and what is most appropriate to be successful in that role, because it's going to be different depending on what that role is going to be, of course.
I will say one of the things that we don't like is having turnover. So one of our advantages is we probably pay a good amount more than anyone else in the market for the roles we're seeking. And we do that, and we're very picky about who we choose. We're very slow to hire, fast to fire. So it takes us longer to hire than it probably should. But when we get someone, like, we don't want them in for a year, we want them in for as long as we can keep them. So we're a lot more detail oriented. So we try to do everything we can to take care of our employees financially and through different time off and stuff like that.
Right. Brilliant. Very good. Like I say, for other listeners, either current business owners, small, mid-sized business owners, but also those that are emerging, man, you've been at it, had some great successes. What's a good piece or two of advice that you would give to somebody coming out of the gates as they're wanting to grow and scale their business?
Learn sales. Just the fact that you can, whatever your business that you're doing, you could be the greatest in the world. If no one buys it, your revenue's not going to help. McDonald's isn't the greatest in the world because they have the best cheeseburgers. They're the biggest fast food because they sell cheeseburgers the best. So even if you're not a genius at your particular craft or whatever you're selling, be better at selling at it and your business will thrive.
Excellent. Sales drives everything. Nothing happens till somebody sells something, right?
Exactly right.
Fantastic. So, Ted, what if somebody wants to reach out to you, find out a little bit more about Juvo Leads? What's the best way they can get in touch with you or find that good information?
Sure. Go to juvoleads.com, start a chat with the team there. And if you're interested in book some time through our chat agents on our website.
Brilliant. Well, Ted DeBettencourt with Juvo Leads, I really appreciate your time today on Business Spotlight and for sharing some of your wisdom that you've accumulated over the recent years. It's exciting to see the growth that you've had. So I appreciate your time and sharing with the others that'll be watching this.
Yeah, thank you, David. It was great to have you on, and great to see you again after it's a little bit of time.
Very good. Take care now.